Real
It is
deal.
4 p.m. We will call the Committee on Public Safety to order. Please let the record reflect that all committee members are present. I would entertain a motion to approve the February minutes.
So moved.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Right, passes unanimously. Next, we are on to public comment on the agenda items. If you're a member of the public and you would like to speak to any of these items, please sign in and have a seat at the table. If you are here representing a property, if you're a property owner, we will get to you as we address your property on the agenda. Any open public comment? No. Okay. We will move forward to item 5B, a resolution for orders to make safe or demolish 308 East Cesar Chavez Avenue. And if you are here representing that property, please come up to the table. 308 East Cesar Chavez Avenue. Okay, well,
That was gonna help Adam if that was possible.
well, you're not the property owner, is that correct? Okay, so no, we don't have representatives for the property owner speaking on their behalf. It's good. No, I don't. No. Okay, if you'd like to go forward with any updates or information that you have on 308 East Cesar Chavez.
All right, so what I'm seeing is that there's a plan review applied for, 5/1 of 23, approved 5/22 of 23. This review is for repairing, stabilizing existing masonry building for future build out. A building permit was applied for in of 23, issued 7/24/23. It was closed in November of 24 due to inactivity, 0 inspections. Commercial plan review applied for in 24 for the same repair and stabilization. It was never paid for. We get down to an email update was received from the property owner on 2/17/25. No meaningful timeline or expectation of work to begin received. EDP recommendation, move to make safe or demolish 60-day to non-fire damaged structure.
Question?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that nobody's here today. We had, I mean, even the advocate last night for this particular property said that, the individual is really bad at communication, slept through the meeting. And so I'm not surprised that we've had these balls dropped historically with this particular individual. It's time. And so, obviously, discussion is still going to proceed after I make the motion. I'm going to move that we move to make safe or demolish, move a 60-day make safe or demolish.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I just would, I'd like to say that, it doesn't make us, I think, happy to have to do this. And I understand, the character of that building, but I also understand what I've seen the last 2 years. And it's frustrating that we've gotten to this point. I will be supporting this move. And unfortunately, I think, no owner being here today really speaks, to the way this was going to happen, that, these repairs just weren't going to happen. And it's unfortunate. So I will be supporting.
Okay. All those in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, on to item C, a resolution or for an order to make safe or demolish 5625 Key North Road.
Yes.
Please have a seat. Can I get your name for the record while you're taking a
Joseph
seat?
Plawez, F as in Frank, AWAZ.
Okay, to our EDP staff, we have a report out here.
We had various permits issued in 2016, 2018. On 4/26 of 19, the property owner at the time, James, submitted a letter requesting all open permits be canceled and closed. James later sold the house to his brother and the current property owner, Joseph. Property owner requested a meeting with EDP on 2/14/25 and later met on 2/19/25. Past inspections reviewed and homeowner permit application shared. He does have an electrical permit applied for on 2/12/25 for electrical service only. And the contractor paid for that on 2/19. Permit on hold pending submission, payment, and approval of a building permit application accompanied by required drawings. The project update received by email from the property owner on 2/23/25. They indicated intention on submitting a homeowner's permit and in having the project finished by end of June 25, with plans to move in by 7/30/25. There are delinquent 23 property taxes due on the property. EDP recommends that this gets tabled for 30 days pending issued building permit, electrical inspection approved, and updates to the project plan.
Sir?
I went through the building permit today and I have the notarization of my house. Unfortunately, I didn't have any plans for the deck on back. I was unaware I had to have those plans in advance, so I'll get those tonight and then bring it in tomorrow and pay for the building permit tomorrow. I was there yesterday to pay for it and I was unaware, so today I went in and they said, well, you need drawings for the deck. I said, okay, that's fine. So that's why this hasn't been paid for. I was there today to pay for that, but I have to get drawings.
Okay, any questions from our committee members on this property?
I guess, I see, when did you get this house?
I believe my brother gave it back to me in either 2019 or 2020.
Okay. I guess what I struggle with is I was at the May demo board when this was heard. And it looks like you weren't there according to my notes. And so I guess I'm wondering now why this flurry of 2/23, it seems, or I'm sorry, 2/25 is a lot of these things happening. So I'm just concerned that, if we table this, that this progress forward will stop the same way that it has before.
Won't do that. Before, actually, the first time I got the demolition papers, I came to that particular meeting at the time, explained that I didn't have the money at the time or the time to do it. That wasn't important. And so then, unfortunately, I missed the third meeting. I made the first and the second. Somehow I missed the third. And now the fourth and fifth I've continued to make. I'm not sure how I missed that particular meeting. But currently, I've got the fundings to repair the house. Plus, I also have to be out of my house by July of 2025. What I'm currently staying in. So I have necessity now to move in to this house, which was basically just being used as a storage facility. I was just storing my things in the house because I didn't have the time or wherewithal to repair and fix it. Now it has to be done. And part of it, the impetus is, of course, being the demolition board. So.
Well, and I appreciate all that. And, I will support the tabling for 30 days, but, I have a lot of concerns that, it's been through 3 demo board meetings and you didn't seem to think that was the time to really jump on this and get some stuff done. So I would just, tell you that when we table this is, the end of the road.
So I accept that. That's fine. It's going to get done. It's just some finalization that really needs to be, and the back deck, which I can't do currently, but I will do as soon as we get in the ground. It's not, I'm sure you understand it's frozen, so.
That's all I
Was
have.
that a motion?
It was not, I was, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so what I'll do, let me first move to table this for 30 days, and I'm gonna just kind of follow up. We had some comments last night at our show cause hearing. There were a few people that said, well, why now? Why is the city now moving with some measure of pace? Frankly, we have been negligent for a very, very long time, right? And whether that's, and frankly, as somebody that's been on city council for quite some time, I think I take some blame in that. I think our hearing officers, as part of our demo board, should take some blame. I think our historic city attorney's office, we're not talking about Mr. Greg Becker here, right? But I think some past iterations of our city attorneys, I think the reality is we've had the tools in the toolbox. We have not necessarily pulled those out the way that we should have pulled those out historically. We sometimes we pretended like we were pulling them out and put them back before even utilizing them. The reality is we've always had the ability, per state statute and applicable laws, to make sure that our housing stock was in good condition. We now find ourselves in a place because we've been negligent for so long that you can barely drive a city block without seeing a red tag, a deteriorated structure, and that time is over. And so I think for folks we want folks to buy property, rehab property, but the day of people coming in speculating and then sitting on properties and letting them rot for years and years and years, that hasn't got to come to an end. And so we want to do our part with regard to this particular committee in getting the ball down the field, ensuring that folks understand that there's urgency here, right? And so I appreciate the work that's being done. When we come back in 30 days or whatever the next meeting is, I'm going to obviously want to see that that was actually paid. So you're saying on the 26th that's going to be paid. I'm assuming you can have this electric inspection approved by the next meeting.
I'm not sure how soon. I know they paid for the permit. My electrical guy unfortunately caught COVID, well, not COVID, but he has the flu last week. So he wasn't able to do any work this last week. I called him yesterday. He said he's still kind of under the weather. I said, that's fine when you get to it. So as soon as he gets the rest of the stuff done and we get an inspector to come and check the house, it'll be.
Okay, and then any desired updates to the project plan? I guess what I'm going to tell everybody in this room is, because we appreciate everything you guys are doing, you have to be communicating with the department, right? In between these meetings. So what we don't want to hear is, all of a sudden we're here on March 25th. Is that going to be a
March
meeting?
25th, yeah.
March 25th. And then there was a flurry of activity on March 24th. Please, right, for the love of all things good, communicate with the department. Make sure in earnest you guys are continuing to try to collectively move the ball down the field. And then you might, get some grace from this committee, but we want to make sure that we are continuing that forward movement on all fronts. Okay. So again, I did make a motion.
Yeah, we do have a motion on the table to table for 30 days. That would take us to March 25th, 2025. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, passes.
Thank you.
See you on March 25th. Next item on the agenda, 1232 South Washington Avenue. If those property owners are here, please come take a seat at the table. Sorry, South Washington. 1232.
No,
Is it?
Yes.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
typo.
Okay, sir, if you could state your name for the record, please.
My name is Clarence Hooker.
And update from our office.
A building permit was issued in 23. The frame was partially inspected and approved on 9/17/24. Installation inspection scheduled on 11/19/24. Inspector went and the contractor was not ready for the inspection. Reschedule requested for inspection made on 2/17/25 for an inspection date of 2/20. Contractor canceled the inspection on the day of. On 2/20/25, the contractor made a second reschedule request for an inspection date of 2/25/25. Okay, so Meredith's gonna look up that record right now. An electrical permit is currently expired. Rough inspection was approved back in March 18/24. No other inspections are requested. Permit scheduled to be closed on 3/23/25 if a final inspection has not been requested. Plumbing permit currently expired. Rough inspection approved on 7/31/24. No other inspections requested. A permit scheduled to be closed on 3/23/25. The final inspection has not been requested by the contractor. EDP recommendation, slow progress, but table for 30 days pending approved building insulation approval and trade permit progress.
Sir?
I would talk to
Can we just,
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
The inspection for today, for 225, was again canceled.
And that
So,
was canceled.
I
by the
learned that
contractor.
I learned that just shortly. I do think that they're working on getting the insulation done. And the other things that need to be done cannot be done until that's done. I expect that they're going to finish it this week, but I'm not sure.
Any other updates to add from ED&P? Okay, sir, do you have any other comments before we move to deliberate as a committee?
I'd like you to table it or to, give me a demolish, make safe or demolish. I'm not sure which really gives me a chance to save that house. But whichever of those I would, hope that you would give me that.
So the recommendation is to table for 30 days pending approved building installation and trade permit progress. 30 days from now, could the structure be safe? I mean, I don't know how those items in 30 days would get us any closer to where this property would need to be. And that's the question I'm asking.
A lot of progress could be made if the inspection didn't keep getting canceled. Because that, they need that inspection to take place in order to proceed with the others. So it's tough. It's been canceled a couple times.
Comments from the committee members?
Thank you, Chair. So again, I'm going to go back to the May notes. And I believe it was Dave at the demo board at the time. They told you to find a different contractor, sir. And I think they gave you a book of some kind to be able to find somebody. Because I know what the problem is on this and why it keeps getting delayed. And it was canceled again today. And these are the same issues that were happening in May with this contractor. And I understand that you want to get this house fixed, but, with all due respect, today we had an inspection and it was again canceled. I don't feel comfortable tabling this. I think we're headed in the wrong direction. I think that, everybody has mentioned to you, the problem is this contractor, and I still see his name on here, and that's a problem. And that's, going to impede anything moving forward. I don't see anything changing with this individual that's on here as a contractor. So I would make a motion, and we can still obviously talk about this, but for a 60-day make safe or demolish.
Any comments?
I was gonna say that, I was gonna say, much of the same. Clearance, man, I feel like goodness oozes out of your pores, man. Every time you hear it, it does. You
I
seem a
agree.
great guy.
I agree with everything.
But you definitely have a contractor problem. And I was also in some of those meetings way back when that was pointed out, when those books were handed out, and when you had, I thought, demonstrated some interest in maybe looking elsewhere. Because again, we got a contractor problem here. Because that hasn't happened, I will support the 60-day make safe or demolish. But understanding that I think that 60-day window was given to, because we still hope to get some work done. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so, on my end, I do see the original red tag for this property was in 2011. That's 14 years that this particular property has had a red tag attached to it. And, I do appreciate that you're trying, but again, I do believe it's a contractor issue. I'll also support the motion for a 60 make day or demolish. We do have a motion on the table. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Okay, next item on the agenda, 204 East Potter Avenue. Can I get your name?
Yeah, my name is Rahim Ali Khan, 204 East Potter Avenue.
Okay, and our report for this property?
Yeah, we had in 23, building permit was issued, frame inspection approved on December of 24. Installation inspection requested in February 11th, 25 by the contractor. Scheduled for and approved on 2/13/25. Final inspection not yet requested. The electrical permit, rough and service inspection was approved in 8/8/24. Payment made on 1/30/25 by the contractor for additional permit item add-ons. No additional inspections requested. Needs a final. The mechanical is fully approved, 9/17/24. Plumbing permit currently expired, but had a rough inspection on 7/24/24. No other inspections requested. 1/29/25, the contractor requested permit be extended until 4/20/25. No additional inspections requested. EDP recommends slow progress table for 30 days pending all trade permit inspection progress, and project plan submittal and updated.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I talked to the electrician today. He's coming because I'm waiting for the installation is done. The drywall already, I have a picture, most of done, only the ceiling is left. So today I was with the electrician. I purchased all the material for electrician, like switches, lights, everything. And the plumber, I've been there and with the plumber, it's supposed to be not expired, he extended, and I was there, I talked, and how he showed like, he was with me there. So he extended for 3 more months. So everything is up to track now. So just only the drywall done, then the plumber also coming and he's gonna be for final and the electrician also. So this is the only thing we far from. I have some picture if you want to see for which I put all drywall.
I've just signed in, there's a sign in sheet at the end of the agenda.
If you'd like to submit updated photos, we can
There.
certainly get those. The recommendation is to table for 30 days.
This drywall is already
Progress
started.
and project plan submittal and update.
I'll just make copies afterwards if you guys just want to share.
Yeah, so just looking through the notes. So obviously, we're gonna want to see the installation inspection schedule, right? We're gonna want to see
Installation is
the,
passed. It should,
say it again?
the installation is already passed. So now I'm waiting for the drywall.
No, it says fine. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna want that in. We're gonna want the final inspection. So and explain to me, Tom, so he had scheduled for and approved 2/13/25, and that gives him the ability to then do what? Now that installation had been inspected, because it says final inspection not yet requested.
All
So
the
we're-
other things need to be.
So that has
For the
nothing,
final on the building.
Yeah.
okay, so that's for the final on the building. Okay, I got you.
Installation was
Okay, that makes sense. I got confused. And then with regard to electric, same thing. When you put at the bottom here, when it says project plan submittal update, do you know what we're looking for?
No,
You're not certain as to what that is?
no. Going off all these.
Okay, and that's fine. And that's fine. We knew that, you might not be able to answer a few questions here. Okay. Because there has been some movement on this, and I would agree that it's been slow, but there is movement. I think you understand the urgency. You've been involved in every step of the process, which we appreciate. I'm going to take the department's recommendation into consideration in terms of this motion, and I would move that we table this for 30 days.
Any discussion on the motion?
Just a quick question on in the notes here, requested permit to be extended. Was it extended?
It was.
Okay. I was curious about that. Thank you. Nothing further.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. I hope next time I want to finish everything.
We hope so too.
Yeah, I will
Yes.
try my best. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, 1023 Porter Street.
Ready?
Sure, yes.
Okay, building permit issued, 6/6 of 23. The frame had a partial inspection and approved on 2/23 of 24. Insulation inspection approved 1/3 of 25. No other inspections requested. Contractor is the homeowner. Electrical permit currently expired. Service inspection was disapproved on 11/8 of 24. A rough inspection was approved 11/15 of 24. Contractor requested on 2/19 of 25, the final inspection. And that's scheduled for 3/14 by the contractor request. The plumbing permit issued on 11/13 of 24 had a rough inspection and was approved on 12/23 of 24. No other inspections requested by the contractor. The mechanical permit is required and has not been applied for. We are, even though it's slow progress, we are recommending to table for 30 days pending trade permit progress.
Right. Yeah, so is it because of the department's schedule that the inspection is not scheduled until March 14th, or is that date
The
requested?
contractor specifically requested that.
For that date.
Yep.
Got it. Oh, yeah, it says by contract.
I wanted to bring up about the mechanical, that's like an error, or not on your guys' part, but we had a guy come out, Tyler's Heating, and check the furnace, and he's like, unless I was replacing it, I wouldn't have to do that. That's the only reason why that, wasn't, we didn't put in for that, is because that's what he told us. Like, we actually had him come out, we have, email or whatever from him of what he did do, checking the furnace and all that stuff. So we did do that part. But we were unaware, because when he's the one that's told us that unless we were replacing it, which it didn't need to be replaced, that we didn't have to get the mechanical inspection. So that's on that part. And as far as the plumbing, I wanted to bring up, that I had to wait to get the fixtures actually. So that's why we haven't moved on to that. They're there, and I've submitted pictures with, the actual. So, I mean, clarification, I do have to get the mechanical then.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to ask for clarification on that as well. If it's not being replaced, is that required?
Well, that would depend on what you have that in writing from.
Yeah, I have the
mechanical
email.
contractor?
Yeah, we have it
And
on
you
the email.
You did send it to our office?
He did not, he's got, yeah,
So
no,
in that situation, we would ask for that from the contractor. We would talk with the mechanical inspector. And as long as the mechanical inspector accepted that, then that would be fine.
okay, because we weren't trying to pull a quickie. It was, we asked.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you could submit that email as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
definitely. Yeah, we thought we were gonna have it yesterday before the meeting, and then it came super late, so it was, don't worry.
Okay, any motion or discussion from committee members?
You know, I see work is being done and I appreciate that, but, I think, if I recall, is this gonna be your home? You have another property in Lansing?
Yeah, we actually had to purchase the property because they were selling it out from under us that we were renting. But it's not the property that we're gonna live in.
Okay,
We owned Porter prior, it was actually the same people that we bought Porter from that we rented from. And then she said, I'm selling it. So yes, no, the home that Porter is our intent.
Okay.
It's a much better area. I mean, it seems, what goes.
I'm curious because both properties don't have a home, primary residence exemption on them. Is there a reason?
Other than I have no idea what I have to do.
Typically, when you get a mortgage.
I have a mortgage on the one, but
Yeah.
that's the only thing is.
It's a, reduces your tax rate if that's your primary residence.
Actually, Cesar Chavez is ours, and I just purchased that at this point. The Porter I paid cash for, so I never mortgaged that home, so
Sure.
I never, and then, and intentionally, and I had planned on moving to Porter until where we're at isn't really a great area.
I'm actually familiar with 315 West Cesar Chavez, and there is that area I think is a decent area to live. I don't think that it's unsafe. But
Literally,
I see zero PRE on that property. My concern is that we're going to sit on this property and it's going to turn into a rental, and this might be the future of how this goes.
you think
'Cause it's
Porter
been-
is gonna turn?
I'm sorry. It's been since 2017.
Right.
You've owned that, and then you purchased the property over on Chavez in 2024.
Right.
I mean, for me, that's a long time for that property, this property that we're talking about right here, 2017, to be sitting like that.
Mhm.
And I understand what you're saying.
Seriously, on Cesar Chavez, I know that you think it's safe. My neighbor was shot, the store right next door. The guy that just died literally is over there. Like, it is not. There's a drug house that was closed.
Yeah, we don't have to debate the safety of your current.
I'm just saying, for me, I know.
So, if we could focus on.
I was gonna say, I think that's what we need to make sure, because I don't think that's germane. I think what we need to determine as a committee, and of course, we have a recommendation from the Department of the Record, but whether or not to this committee's satisfaction, enough work has been done to table this. And what I'm hearing from Councilman Cost, that he's, I don't want to put words in his mouth.
I'm very much wavering on this property. This was a fire damaged, I believe.
Yep.
And I understand, do we have anything newer than 2017 or some of these photos updated?
You had some last night.
I see it.
They were in your folder last night. Drywall pictures, I think there was bathroom pictures. Oh, yeah, right here. Very end.
We turned in some last time too.
These were as of yesterday.
I would be comfortable tabling 30 days, but I think that the progress that has been made in 8 years, I would hope that this speeds up rapidly. Because,
It has in the last 6 months.
yeah, well, it's unfortunate that we had to get to this point. But I would motion to table for 30 days.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, tabled for 30 days.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Next, 1300 West Maple Street. We have the property owners present. 1300 West Maple. All right, please continue with your report.
All right, the owner transferred ownership on 9/14/24 to 1300 West Maple LLC. Alicia Flowers is named as state listed registered agent. Building permit was issued on 6/21/24. Frame inspection approved on 12/11/24. No other inspections requested. The electrical permit issued on 9/30/24 and rough inspection approved on 11/15/24. No other inspections requested. Plumbing permit issued on 11/18, had a rough inspection approved on 11/21/24. No other inspections requested. Delinquent property taxes for 2023. EDP recommends we have slow progress, but table 30 days pending all trade permit progress.
So my first question will be similar to when I asked a few moments ago. In 30 days, I mean, trade permit progress and project plan submittal. Would this property be deemed safe within 30 days? I mean, would we just continue to table this if, you know, maybe there's a few permits pulled? I guess I'm not exactly sure where the department envisions this going.
With progress on the last one.
Has he submitted any updated photos?
There is a photo, the last photo of this packet, item G. I don't see a date on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My personal opinion.
No,
Okay.
I mean,
They did a picture, but,
it looks like they just,
They were the ones that had the first picture.
but
I wasn't.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, the deputy clerk
Here's
had
the
some.
recent inspection photos from 2024 of August.
So.
It's just, it doesn't line up. There were 3 that we got, and this is not one of them from yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get any last night, so that's why I'm asking. So our office won't have any pictures.
You're seeing about Russ Davis.
Any motion or comments from committee members?
You know, when I looked up the information on these properties for our last meeting, this particular property has been tabled for some time. And this seems to be the kind of common theme that we're working on it, and nothing really ever comes of it. And if I remember correctly from the May meeting of the demo board last year, the word from the demo, I think it was Joe, said, you know, essentially, we need a contractor's name next month, or we're going to put this through for demo, because she wouldn't share the contractor's name. And I believe that this overall contractor, again, is one that we advised folks not to use, if I'm remembering correctly on this property, but I might be off on that. But regardless, this has been red tagged since 2005.
Yeah, that was going to be my comment as well.
I would say that they should be able to finish this property in 60 days if we move it forward with the MSD. I think if we can, I think the issue is, first of all, no one has come today. I think the other issue for me is, you know, we have tabled this. And if we continue that behavior, I don't think anything's going to advance forward.
I don't disagree. To have this property, understand the ownership has changed hands a few times, but again, it is the property owner's responsibility to understand if they purchase a property that is red tagged or in the make safe or demolish process, they are signing up for that. And if they're not sure that it is red tagged, you know, they need to thoroughly investigate the property and find that information. This has been red tagged for 20 years. And so if I would entertain a motion to move forward with this property in the make safe or demolish lane.
I would move,
I'm sorry, unless there's further.
No, the only thing I was gonna say, so I'm still just trying to, and I know Raleigh's not here, but in terms of these notes, so we can infer based on these, right? That we have had no contract, or I'm sorry, no contact with any of the subcontractors or the general contractor since at least December 11th, 2024, correct? So, I mean, yeah, you would think that a property that's been red tagged this long, we're this far, far down the field on this thing, that there would be copious amounts of contact. And so I struggle as well. So I'm not sure. I wish Raleigh was here, but I know Raleigh is incredibly thorough. So I know he's going to watch this back. I'm going to want to know when we talk about EDP recommendations, slow progress, what all this means. Because when we talk about slow progress, yet we may not have talked to anybody since before the holiday season. I don't view that as any type of progress, frankly. So I would move, or what I think I heard in terms of being palatable to Mr. Cause, I would move a 60-day make safe for demolish on this item.
Okay, we have a proper motion for 60 days make safe for demolish. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Motion passes. All right, next item, 1723 Osband Avenue. We have a property owner present. Speak for the record, please.
Burl Green.
Okay.
We have a building permit that was issued on 2/6/24. Contractor requested a frame on 2/5/25 and scheduled that for 2/7. The contractor canceled it on 2/7/25.
Can I stop you real quick? I guess I'm just curious, and I just want to make sure that we're not doing this for no reason. So it says the title information 917 Shittock Street LLC. Ma'am, are you the registered agent?
No, that's Neil. I'm a partner with Neil. I'm a legal partner with him, yes. We partner on lots of different properties, and I got involved with this one and partnered up with him to get it taken care of and off the books.
And what's your name?
Burl Green.
Burl Green. Have you guys had any contract or contacts? Sorry, do we? I guess I'm asking you. Do we know it?
I can send something to you that shows that I'm a.
Yeah, I know.
I'm checking.
That's what Greg's checking right now. I just didn't know if there was some background.
I know I have it in the office, so it's
Give us
just
a
that
second.
once I saw that this project, last summer needed to be pushed along, and so we discussed it and I got involved.
Yeah. Just give us a minute. Tigers. Right on.
Well, on Laura, I can only find Neil's name, and I don't have,
I can send it to you tomorrow or later today.
sorry, 1 second. Registered agent Neil Wright, yes. NEILWRIGHT. It's managed by members, but not named. So that's the best I can give you based on Lara filings, sorry.
Well, Greg, so I'm asking you,
Yep.
based on all of that, does Ms. Furrow have legal standing to be in front of this body?
Well, I mean, in terms of legal, in terms of, sure, in terms of legal standing, I mean, you can hear from whoever you want to hear from, right?
Right.
If you're willing to accept her comments and take her at her word, that that's who she is, fine. I mean, she has asserted a legal interest in the property, and if that's true and borne out, then she would absolutely be entitled to be heard. I mean, you can hear from anybody, frankly, but I know the.
However, hold on, let's be careful with that.
Right.
I know, I was just gonna say,
We
you
have
can hear.
long set of precedent, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
your precedent, stated preference, and enforced stated preference is to hear from someone with a legal interest in the property, either from the standpoint of, and we've defined that, I won't get into that right now, but what a legal interest is. She's saying she does, and I don't know I don't have facts to refute that, but I also don't have something to point to say, aha, yes, indeed, this is the case. So,
Well, I'm sure there's gonna be more properties, so I'll make sure that you have something.
to the discretion of the body.
Okay, so. For the sake of keeping it, and I believe you did speak at public comment
Yes, I did.
yesterday evening, so we have heard from you regarding this property. And we do have your comments that would be on the record and included in the record. So for the purposes of this committee, we just, told another gentleman he was not going to be able to speak on behalf of another property owner. We don't have your name in our records here. I understand.
I called for the first meeting that I came to before the meeting last night, and I told that I wasn't gave you my name. I called and spoke, I called on the phone number on the letter that we received.
And
You didn't tell me to bring anything, I just. You said, do you have? And I said, yes, I did.
okay, so we have heard your public comment. We did hear your public comment yesterday evening. We have heard the report out from ED&P, the recommendation.
We actually got through.
I was reading
Yeah,
it,
and that's
so
my fault.
I'm
Yeah, go
sorry.
ahead. You're good.
No, please, let's move forward with the recommendation from the department.
Okay. Okay, do you want me to read through the whole thing then, or start over?
I think
So we got as far as, the 2/12/25, a scheduled inspection.
Yeah.
During the installation inspection was approved.
Okay. Electrical permit was issued, in 24, service is partially, the service inspection was partially approved on 3/4/24. No other inspections have been requested. An extension was requested by the contractor on 6/1/25. The extension was given until 6/1/25.
when was it requested?
Didn't say when it was requested, sorry. But an extension was given until 6/1/25. The, plumbing permit issued on 6/4/24. The contractor requested on 2/19/25, a rough inspection. And that's scheduled for yesterday and was approved. Mechanical permit applied for on 1/31/25. And the contractor requested inspection on 2/16, and that is scheduled for a rough inspection on 2/20/25. And that inspection was disapproved, needs a re-inspection.
This week, correct? We have a re-inspect this week?
That I don't know.
That's what I have in mind.
The,
This
the
week.
mechanical 0214.
On HVAC.
Regardless, it hasn't been re-inspected as of today, correct?
Correct, as of today. EDP is recommended, to table for 30 days pending all trade permit progress.
Because we have the installation permit approved, right?
So again, my question to the department is, within the next 30 days, how do you see this property shaping up? I mean, would it be made safe within 30 days with, if we go with the recommendation, trade permit inspection progress and project plan submittal? Again, are we coming back to this situation where we're having another recommendation to table the property?
More progress.
Yeah.
Some more inspections, more progress on this one.
Yeah, I know, I'm just looking at what the damages were. I'm saying.
We're gonna be done pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
Yes,
gonna have,
possible.
we're
In my
gonna have the
opinion, it
house
is
completed.
possible.
Comments from committee members?
I'm sorry, and I missed that. You guys said what?
I think it's possible they could have it done in 30 days or make it safe.
Hold on, that's two different things. So when we say make safe, we mean that It's, okay,
Lived in all.
okay. So they're gonna have an approval for occupancy. You think it's possible?
I do.
It's almost
You know how
all
much I
done.
respect you all, because you know the law, you know exactly what we're driving at.
Yeah.
You know what we expect. And on the strength of that, if they are telling us that they believe this can be done, and I believe that Mr. Neil Wright, and anybody that he's engaging in terms of managing partners, that they're probably gonna hear us loud and clear. We expect that this is ready in 30 days. So I'm gonna move that we table this.
Okay, we have a proper motion. Any other comment?
I would just, simply say, yes, I concur with, Councilman Hussein, that in 30 days, I certainly would want this shored up, or I would be willing to move forward because, 23, Mr. Van Fossen ruled this 60 days make safe for demolish. So, I mean, this has been to the
Right.
brink now several times.
Right.
So I certainly would like to see this completely across the finish line.
That's why you have me.
Okay, so we have a proper motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're tabled for 30 days.
Don't make us.
How do you think you got all this?
Can you email me that document that shows that you are the partner? Okay.
Yes. And we partner, sometimes we partner on more than one and sometimes we just on one, so it depends on which one we're partnering on. Like we have one on Washtenaw that is coming along, just absolutely drop dead beautiful, and a couple of others.
Okay, next on the agenda, 5141 South Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Orders to make safe or demolish.
Guys,
Hello.
how's everybody doing today?
Your name for the record, please.
Is Andy Markovich?
Okay.
Are you with Property Ventures of Michigan LLC?
Yes, I'm the owner.
And report out from the department.
Okay, in January of 25, the property owner requested a demolition permit. This was denied because he must be a licensed demolition contractor by the city clerk. Receive such a license by the clerk, you must be a licensed builder with the state of Michigan. Building permit for the tear out work was submitted on 2/20/25 by the property owner. Since this is a commercial property, building permits do not have to be pulled by a licensed builder. Work description was incomplete. The owner emailed updated work description on 2/21/25. A tear out permit ready to be issued pending payment by the property owner. EDP's recommendations, move to make safe or demolish 60 day.
Sir, your comments?
Okay, so I got so being the building has asbestos and stuff, we have to get that work done. So what I was asking for, I'm gonna ask for, is if we could at least table for 30 days while we get the asbestos report finished and tested, which is gonna cost roughly $8,200, which I have the estimate right here. And then after that, we'll figure out a time frame to get that asbestos done. And then from there, we can move forward on the demo. So the tear out permit right now is to save the beautiful wood that's in there, which is the hardwood maple and any other pieces that could be saved out of the building. Which, anybody want some? I got some. But, or if you know anybody that needs it for the community, I posted it yesterday, or not posted, but made comment about it on TV. Hopefully I get some calls about it. Move forward. Now, there's a company over in Detroit that does salvaging of wood and stuff like that. I'm trying to get in contact with them, but I can't figure out their name. I met them at the Ingham County Land Bank meeting that was at the Brewing Company. And since then, I haven't been able to find their card, so my bad on that part. As far as the building concerned, I'm still wanting to move forward with them on it. We're still working on the plans for moving forward to hopefully become a better, apartment complex. Stumbling over my words, so apologize for that.
My interest
Here is for
Can I get your name for the record?
Joe Bermudez, a business partner of Andy.
Yep, and contractors. So.
And my interest is to demolish and to rebuild an apartment complex. The apartment complex that we have plans for is the same apartment complex that T.A. Forsberg built on Main Street in Washington. We got a soft commitment from Mishna for about 7 million, or it's just a soft commitment. Obviously, we need to get past this part. In regards to demolishing, we are a licensed builder. We do demolish, so that's not a problem. We have our own excavating equipment, trucks, bulldozers. That's what we do for a living. So in that demolishing, I would ask that you consider to allow for us, me and Andy and I, to do it. He is my partner. We own that equipment businesses together. But if you guys were to send a crew out there, it'd probably be $250,000 in your property because he couldn't pay that. We could get it done for $80,000. That's with our labor, material, and the dump fee. So ask that you consider that. We are licensed.
On another subject, with the same red tag issue, I know it's probably not the right venue for this,
No,
but
we're gonna stick to this property
Okay.
and this red tag.
I was just thinking
No,
that,
Thank you, though. So comments or a motion by?
So let me
committee
ask you
members?
this. So the recommendation from the department is to move forward with make safe or demolish a 60-day order. And they reference in that recommendation that it should be 60 days because it's now fire damaged. I did ask for folks in the room, I did ask for clarification from the city attorney because I'll be honest, prior to testimony last night, I was hoping to move a lot faster on this make safe or demolish. This has been an absolute nightmare for our community, for that corridor. You know that the CIO with the Corridor Improvement Authority, how hard they're working on that corridor. This is a property that they are hearing about consistently. Our office is flooded with calls and emails. It's been a disaster for a long time. And Andy, you and I have been working with each other in earnest for years.
yeah, it's a couple years now.
Yeah, for years. And all kinds of promises have been made to the community. And we all kind of look silly at this point, right? Because, well, hold on, let me just finish. We all look a little silly because all that's happened is that, we've seen continued deterioration, continued rot. We've seen it continue to act as a repellent, right, of business. And frankly, we lost residents in the area because of it. So I want to be clear, because I think this is important. I want to read this into the record. I asked, if a structure is now fire damaged, is it unlawful to move forward with an order less than 60 days, or is it simply not the practice long adhered to? In other words, could we move forward with a 30-day on a structure that has not been fire damaged, but has been tagged forever and a day? Because our committee process, which translates to a larger council consideration piece, it's always been 30-day for fire and 60 or more for not fire damaged. And so, frankly, I thought that was MCO. The response from our city attorney is that the short answer is yes, it is lawful, but a faster timeline on properties that are not fire damaged. But of course, it depends on another factor. Relevant statutory section is MCL 125.4.1, which reads, for an order of demolition, the legislative body, the Board of Appeals of the city, village, or township, and then in bold, determines that the building or structure has been substantially destroyed, right? And that's the piece right there, substantially destroyed by fire, wind, flood, yes. Deterioration, yes. Neglect, yes. Abandonment, yes. Vandalism, yes. Or other cause. And the cost of repair of the building or structure will be greater than the state equalized value of the building or structure. We're far beyond that threshold. Let's be real honest. The owner, agent, or lessee shall comply with the order of demolition within 21 days, actually, after the date of the hearing under the subsection. So then the opinion, it says that the question then becomes if the facts support the council determination that a structure has been substantially destroyed by one of those causes, which include more than just fire, as itemized before. However, I underline substantially destroyed because typically that means half or more of the building is collapsed or ruined and in this case it is. I've actually been inside of that building. You've been inside that building,
Yeah,
right?
but I took the repair on the tear out on it. And that's where you're at. The building's not collapsing.
Let's fall. It literally looks like somebody dropped napalm inside of that place. It is.
That's part of it.
As bad as the outside is, as bad as the outside is, the inside, I could not have imagined. I thought I was going to lose my life that day. I've never been ever in a structure that is that deteriorated.
You're in the
No,
construction.
I don't even think, frankly, we shouldn't even been in there, right? It was unsafe. Let's see, but it may not necessarily qualify as substantially destroyed, whereas a house that went through a fire clearly is substantially destroyed. I suspect that over time, as a matter of practice, fire became among the easiest for everyone to say, yes, that's obviously substantially destroyed. And then it's for the 30 days versus 21 days in the statute. I can only speculate. This had to do with time required to pull a permit and get the demo done as opposed to anything else. I read all that to say, I think if this body supports a 60 days, and then that goes out in front of council, what's the date of our next?
March 10th.
March 10th. And then at that point, it's 60 days approved, which takes us up to March to April, May, sometime in May. I'm thinking, because you're telling me that you're licensed and you have all of the equipment and you can pull the permit, I'm thinking we can move on a 60-day today, right? And that still gives you the window of time to do everything that you're saying you're gonna do,
Okay,
right?
that's fair.
Because just because we issue, it's exactly, when we issue a 60-day make safe or demolish, that means you all have the opportunity to make that safe or demolish it within that 60 days before we then actually go out for bid, right, in terms of the contract. And then I do have a question for folks at the table. At that point, because I think of almost like when we're doing trash and grass, right? So even after we let out that contract, if let's say it's 8 or 9 or 12 days, if the contractor shows up on site and work has been done, what happens, Greg, if after that 60 days, we let the contract out and we award a contract, but let's say they pulled a permit, set up construction fences, and then at some point after that 60 days, they don't. Is it a DBO? I mean, how does that work?
I don't think we'd get to that because they would have already had.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm not just saying, because I don't think you can pull permits for the same thing at the same time.
Oh, you're right.
That would
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The second contractor can't pull the permit. And I'll
Yeah.
just
And we do have a construction fence around it already. We spent $6,000.
But, okay, but here's my struggle. So what if we see this, the 60 days, the very end of that 60 days, now a permit's full? I mean, we won't let them pull the permit at the end of 60 days, right? I mean, how does that all, I'm just curious.
This is a very factually specific question, and I have to be careful because each one of these is going to be very factually specific, right? If you're talking about a situation where on day 60, they show up to pull a permit and we are putting it out to bid, we're probably not going to be granting that permit for demolition. Absent, like, he's got, they got stuff on site ready to go.
Right.
But even then, I don't think they would go through permit. The permit application would not be granted quickly enough for them to take action within the 60 days at that point.
The only reason why I'm asking.
Oh, yeah.
I saw like your tentacle. I'm like, whoa, really, May? Got lots of time.
No,
We're still.
no, the
we're
time I
still
know is for
hoping-
asbestos. That's all I gotta deal
I
with.
got you.
Asbestos is the most expensive thing. You're talking,
And I get
it costs more than the
No,
demo.
I can get that, Joe. And I also get the fact that you guys want, you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm working under a different contract.
At the end of the day, it's your property, and I know you're gonna do what you wanna do with that. But man, I think we're long past,
But we do events. We have done events every year over there, like the food truck events.
Yeah, which honestly, I think we were probably in the wrong for even allowing you all to do that there. Because I think what we have is a hazardous, now, there was a disagreement between myself and the city attorney's office, and they're probably right. And I think we could have declared that property imminent danger immediately because you had those activities on site.
Well, the building's
It would
secure.
have been amazing if we could have had our building stuff.
Yeah, if the buildings, yeah.
Because then we could have pulled it down immediately. But we're beyond that.
Yeah.
We're beyond that. Here's what I'm gonna do with all of that explanation. I'm gonna move, because this is my ward, and let me tell you, man, Trini is an at-large member, hearing a lot about this. Ryan in the first ward on the north and east side of the city is hearing a lot about this. I'm gonna move to 60 days, but that gives you guys a lot of time.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So what if we have a little slowdown with the environmental because of the asbestos, and then we get the permit pulled, we get all of our equipment on site, we're 45 days in before we can start because of the environmental, but we're making good progress. We got 50% of the building down.
Yeah, we're not discussing the what ifs right
Okay.
now. I mean, this is going, the
But
motion
you
is
have
on
to
the
answer
table for a
You're on
60-day
the
make safe or
communication.
demolish, and that's the threshold. we're
Okay.
working. Realistically,
Yeah.
the order, as Councilman Hussein said, is not going to be signed or approved until March 10th, 73 days. Like, can you get this taken care of in 73
Yes.
days? You have to. I
I'll say
mean,
one thing.
yes, like,
The only other thing is, and Greg, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. after we get done on March 10th, I think she said, with the 60-day, everything's administrative beyond that point. We are not
Right.
involved in the process beyond that point. And so if you, right, it's the administration that's going to let out that contract. So if you go to them, I mean, and say, look, we've done everything right. If we're having issues with the environmental, that's on them. I mean, I believe, Greg, and tell me if I'm wrong. I believe they can say, okay, look, we got a little bit of discretion here.
Well,
or is that not?
I'll say, I mean, they have a certain amount of discretion, but when the question gets asked, my office always says back, you've got a standing order from a legislative body, you got to act on that.
Right.
If it's, that being said, you know, if somebody is in the middle of demolition, but it is not done, the permit is pulled, site activity is happening, because the demolition permit, and they can speak more to this if you need it, but the demolition permit is just the first step. There have to be checks along the way that you actually
You have to do with the state.
pulled out all the stuff. You have to, you shut out all the utilities. You pulled out all the utilities underground. You filled it back in with clean dirt. You got it, like, all that kind of stuff has to get there.
Right.
Checks and checks and checks and checks and checks. So as long as that process is in process, then I don't imagine the city would undertake to take over the demolition. But if things stall out and one of those checks doesn't happen and it gets administratively, essentially the demolition permit is administratively halted, then the city would step in and take over.
Okay, you gave a much better legal answer, but that's basically what I said, right? So long story short, right? Because, that's why I want folks to understand, like, you need to be communicating with the department, working with the department, like, we have because it almost like, Joe, oh, do we come back? We don't come back, right? So if we issue a statement, we're really appreciate it, or I'm sorry, Council, said, I mean, you expect it to be done.
We appreciate it. Thank you. We'll move forward.
All right.
Okay, proper motion is on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. 60 days, make safe or demolish.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, next item, resolution for order to make safe or demolish 1616 South Cedar Street. Do we have the property owner present?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you Mr. McNamara?
Yes, ma'am.
Was 60.
Sorry, the T-station.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
I can get that to you. Yes, that's what I show.
Okay, and our report out on 1616 South Cedar.
All right, so the building permit was issued 4/27 of 23 as a homeowner permit. The homeowner requested on 11/9 of 24 a final inspection and was scheduled for 11/12 of 24, and that was partially approved. As the project moves forward, a plumbing and electrical permit will need to be pulled.
Need electrical. Electric is fine.
Yeah, it doesn't have electrical on our
Oh,
Okay.
update. It only says needs
It's
a
plumbing.
permit. Is that?
someone cut the plumbing out of the house a few years back. Yeah,
Those are notes from the building inspector,
Okay.
so.
yeah, that
Yeah.
does not need electrical.
So based on the building permit progress, the chief building inspector concluded the property has sufficiently been made safe. EDP's recommendation is to discharge from make safe or demolish process based on building permit progress.
House looks like a new home. I mean, outside, inside.
It's not.
drywall
It's
work is
not
done.
No.
on this. So that's a new.
This recommendation was tabled 30 days, yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally a bathroom.
What was the date of that note?
Yesterday afternoon.
Okay, that,
Makes more sense.
okay.
So that must have been the,
Okay, and it has been, could you please repeat that last part? It has been deemed safe, is that correct?
Yeah, the chief building inspector concluded the property has sufficiently been made safe.
Yeah, he walked the outside and walked the inside and wanted to know why it was even set on the demo board.
Do you have anything else to add, sir?
No, I mean, I don't want it demoed, and me and my father, we bought it together when he was still alive, and he died in 1985. And, you know, I mean, I've dealt with a house and owned it before there was ever rental inspections or anything with rental properties.
supervisor.
It's just that I ran out of money. I mean, you know,
Well, based on the recommendation, I do have a question for legal. If the recommendation is to discharge from make safe or demolish, how are we placing that here in the committee? I mean, do we go to full council? Is this something that we can do here within?
I'm double checking this right now. I'm looking at the act, but I'll just say, when we have looked at this in the past, I think the answer is because it has come to council with the recommendation from the demo hearing officer, it goes to the full council, and the full council would vote to essentially get rid of it. Well, deny any order to make safe or demolish, but I'm double checking that right now. So essentially, it would come out of the committee with the recommendation to essentially
The
vote it.
recommendation from the committee would be to discharge from make safe or demolish. Is that correct?
Correct, with no resolution for further action.
there's a,
I believe we've done that once so far as I've been on this committee. Yes?
Yeah, so we heard that the plumbing is not done. And so I'm just trying to make sense of everything because I thought.
Water is hooked up in the
Just like,
building.
yeah, 1 second, sir.
And it is.
So this is actually for you guys. I don't understand because I thought when the red tag is pulled, that means that everything is done, but the plumbing isn't done. Though we're saying now that it's safe. So I'm just trying to understand that process. How is this safe without the plumbing done?
It's safe because you lock.
Maybe that's.
I can't give you a straight answer.
Okay. It's very confusing, right?
Yeah.
It is.
And I mean, ultimately, yes, so we always go by the opinion of the chief building inspector. However, we have other policies in place too.
Yeah, I guess I'd just like to know, did it meet a certain criteria or a certain threshold that you all work with
I'll
it?
just sit there and say, this is the discussion that we need to have within our office.
I mean, because it would be, if we had a better understanding, right? Like,
Correct. We could make more thorough decisions, have more thorough information to make these decisions and clearly understand where we are today.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I think you did too. I'm not comfortable moving a recommendation for the full council for discharge without these questions answered. And so I would make a motion that we table for 30 days. I'm sorry.
Give me 6.
We don't need 30 days. You're correct.
No, I mean,
Table.
if it's, you're just looking for,
Let's just table until the next.
March 12th.
Yeah, let's table till March 12th.
And just to complete the record, I did find it, the council must either agree with the order of the hearing officer, demolition hearing officer, or approve, disapprove, or modify. So if the recommendation that came through was to make safe or demolish, then the council would have to vote to say, no, this one's okay. So you'd have to vote out of the full council, and there'd be a resolution essentially saying this property is, cause has been shown.
Right.
So.
no, and I think that you're right, that, I understand that part, but what we're not understanding is when we have other folks that come, we've said you need to fix everything that is, when it's red tagged, all the things need to get fixed, but we're hearing that the plumbing isn't done, so we're just trying to get some clarification.
Maybe just that, we would agree that it doesn't need to be demolished. So maybe not going forward this way, however, the red tag would stay on it until those permits have been.
Right, and I don't have a problem with that, but I
think that still makes it even more confusing.
Okay.
So you get the building officials to notice in writing.
Yeah, that makes it even more confusing, yeah, because I mean, I've been on this committee 3 years now, and we have consistently said the red tag has to be removed. And now we're hearing maybe that's not so. So I think perhaps there's a bigger conversation here.
Yeah.
So was there a motion to table until our next meeting? Would you like to modify that motion at all?
No,
Or
it
is
was,
that-
nope, still motion to table till, what was it, March 12th?
And I will try to get, a plumber to pull a permit, but like I said, I've just, funds are funds.
Yeah, we understand that. We're going to table this until March 12th, with no further action until March 12th. We'll discuss that.
So
Motion has been made. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so.
I need to attend a meeting March 12th then?
Yes.
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 Okay, and that will be here?
Yeah, I'll notify you. I'll send you another letter.
Okay, all right. Do you have my address? 916 Motor Avenue.
Did you get my first letter?
Oh, for sure, ma'am. And I probably do, but, you know, he's getting thrown in the back of my truck and,
The first one was sent and then I called you. So it was sent to 1534 South Pennsylvania, which is what they had on record. What is it?
916 Motor Avenue. 1534 is where I used to live, and I lost it in '08, and everybody lost a bunch of properties.
Okay, what's the zip code?
48910.
Okay.
My grandson ended up buying it, so.
Okay, we are moving to the next items, a resolution to.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hearing orders for make safe for demolish 1033 Shepherd Street. Do we have the property owner present? Thank you. And your name for the record, please?
William Russell.
Okay, and a report out from our department, please.
Okay, the original red tag date was January 1st of 22. The reasons for the red tag were several inches of standing water in the basement, entire bathroom remodeled without permits, leaking into the basement, electrical wiring installed without permit, extensive use of extension cords, loose hanging wires, deteriorated walls in multiple locations, wall and or ceiling covering missing in multiple locations, lack of operational smoke detectors, and the roof has been modified without a permit. It went into the NEAT team on 10/7 of 2011. The property activity, we've got one permit denied. The owner did not draw plans on the suitable material. Drawings did not have sufficient clarity to indicate the nature of the work. Materials and measurements not included on the drawings. 8 premise violations since the property was tagged in 22. Zoning violations sent on 9/9 of 24 due to storage of junk vehicles and trash. The SEV and cost of repairs. The SEV is $31,900. The cost of repairs, $82,009. And the city recommendation, 30 days, make safe or demolish. Other notes, zoning, 9/9/24, zoning enforcement issued. Court order compliance ticket was written on 12/10 of 24. The next court date is scheduled for 3/28 of 25. So we are currently in court.
I think it's 325.
And then the monthly NEAT monitoring suspects red tag property is being lived in. So I've got 2 notes here, one saying make safe for demolition, and then the other one saying move to schedule the show cause hearing.
Yeah, my notes indicate that this is to schedule, the purposes is to schedule a show cause hearing. Mr. Russell, comments from you?
I mean, I'm just gonna let you know that code compliance had no rights to enter my home. They broke the law entering my home. And they have not, they're just difficult to work with, the offices. They don't return phone calls, they don't answer anything, or it takes them 2 weeks to call you back. Half of the stuff on there that she's talking about, like, she didn't even know what was like going on. I mean, I had a broken water line that blew. So how was that? My basement was flooded for a broken water line that ran for an hour. How was that plumbing work? Like half the stuff that she's talking about, she don't even know what's going on. And it just finally took them, after 2 years, being able to tell me what I needed to do to my house. But as far as I'm concerned, they broke the law entering my home like they did. They bullied me into coming into my home, which they weren't allowed to. And yes, I don't look like crap there, but because I ripped some drywall down off the wall, which I understand. I didn't know that you had to pull a permit to rip drywall down. But the permit I was working, or the roof alteration, I was working with Bob. And then all of a sudden, I did what he told me to do. I think it was Bob. Sorry, he was an older guy. I can't remember if it was Bill or Bob. And then all of a sudden, this new guy, Scott, comes in there and he's, telling me I got to do it this way instead, when I did it the way I was told to do it by Bob or Bill, whatever the guy's name was. So that's about all I got to say about it.
So the property is red tagged. I guess, one of the major concerns I have is that the NEAT monitoring team suspects that the property is being lived in. Is it occupied? It is being lived in
I'm
currently?
not moving out of my house.
Questions or comments from team members?
So I also, oh, sorry.
You can finish your thought and then we're going to deliberate. on
So
that.
with he said something about the NEAT in 2011. What's that about? Because I've only owned the house since 2016,
So the original red tag date,
2022.
Oh, that's
So-
that is a.
Yeah, that's a
is that
typo.
typo?
That
Yeah.
must just be a typo.
Yeah, you're right.
This is
So
this has
the-
been the issue the
The
whole time.
tag,
It went in
The
the-
1918 was in 2011.
It was red tag for a minute because the guy I bought it from had to replace all the plumbing. And everything got gutted out.
Well, it should be. That's not.
Well, it's a typo. It says 2011,
Yeah, I
but
don't have it.
So it wasn't 10/7/2011, it was January 3rd of 22.
Well, that's my.
Well,
that's-
no, it was January
that's a red tag.
1st. It was January 1st
Right, so.
of 2002.
1/1/2022.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
questions,
I
comments?
mean, I think we have, there are other enforcement actions that probably need to be taken on this property. But this, has all the ingredients, man, for a show cause hearing. So, I'm gonna move for a show cause hearing to be set on March 24th.
Oh, after the, sorry.
Sure, a proper motion has been made. Any comments? Like, any members? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So, sir, you will be scheduled for a show cause hearing. The date is March 24th of this year.
Or my court date of the 25th. Or 28th, whatever one it was.
Right, so on the 24th, you'll have the opportunity to come and speak before the full council. And talk to all of the council members about the property. And that would be at 7 PM at our meeting on the 24th, right after our council.
All right, you guys gonna send me a letter for that?
You know what? I sent a letter and I never heard from you, so I want to make sure I've got the right address.
I got the letter for today.
You did get the letter? Okay. Yep, 1033? Yep, okay. Same address, yep.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, resolution for orders to make safe or demolish 1044 Ontario Street.
Can I get you to confirm your name for the record?
Greg?
Great, thank you for coming back to us today. Report
Okay.
out from the department.
This has been tabled at committee for a few months, back on the agenda consideration. Progress inspection took place on 10/17/24. The home was cleaned out and work progress is taking place. Initial safety hazards began to be addressed. Work without permit was noted and information shared on how to correct. 6 to 9 months of work expected. The building permit was applied for on 10/22/24 under a homeowner permit issued on 11/6/24. The building drawings were received and approved on 11/26. It has been 24. I'm now double checking my, no additional inspections requested. It needs a final. The mechanical permit was applied on 9/27/24 by a contractor, and that was issued on 11/26/24. No inspections requested. Work completed pending a main plumbing connection. Project plan update received on 11/25/24, providing copy of plumbing work proposal from the contractor. The project plan update received on 2/23/25, indicating progress on general home renovations, including next on schedule is kitchen cabinet install, flooring, painting, and plumbing permit expected to be applied for by March of 25. EDP recommends tabling this for 60 days pending trade permit progress.
Okay, comments, sir?
Progress is being made. You guys gave me 90 days last time and I appreciate that, but
The weather was really tough these last 90 days. For plumbing, this is out of them. Tile guy, just, I gotta line things up and sometimes it takes time. I have a timeline here, just a rough timeline if somebody wanted to check it out. Yeah, plumbing, cabinets, countertops. It's really the finishes. I would like to know more about being discharged instead of having this threat over my head of demolition. I'm putting so much and I'm so close to the finish line. It's people's livelihood, people's money and time. Not dedicating my whole day. I can't be there 8 hours a day. I have a life and responsibilities. Working on.
Is this a copy for us to keep? Or
Yes, yes. This is a inspection, and it seems like it's an inspection to move in. I don't know if that's the same as being red tag removed, but a lot of these are simple. I mean, I got 4 comments here for smoke detectors, plumbing, and it's really close if anybody wanted to look at what I finished on that.
Okay, and just noting again that the last time you were before us, we did table this for 90 days.
You're correct.
And I believe at that time, I was not inclined to table once more. You know, when we did make that determination, 90, you know, at that time. So do we have any comments or questions or emotions on the items here? Yeah.
Adam, you're new this year. I don't know if you're aware. Did have a building inspector and Raleigh walk through the property. They said demolition wouldn't do any good for this property. They didn't understand why I was on the demo list either, so. Just wanted to let you know.
This is probably one of the tougher ones. I will say that, and I'll shut up because I wasn't on the committee last year, but I'm a mayor and I watch all the committee meetings.
Okay.
Right? So I'm pretty familiar. It's, you know, I understand, I think the heartburn in regard to, you know, made a 90-day, they're coming back here again, and we're saying we need more time. But it does seem as if progress is being made. Does seem as if this is a property that, you know, I think this is an important process to stay and keep it in this process, to make sure that what needs to happen continues to happen. But I will be inclined to take, because of what we see in the notes, because of the report, because of some of the additional information. And you're the first, I mean, frankly, applicant today that has actually provided a timeline. So you're trying to hold yourself accountable, which I appreciate. So I'm not going to make a motion just yet. I'm going to wait to hear what Councilman Cross, but I would be inclined to give it another table.
I look.
Just coldest months of the year, furnace goes out. I mean, people's plumbing, they actually have emergencies and I'm just going to renovate the house. So I understand my plumber going to them before me. Holidays.
Did you get a plumbing permit? Okay, so I'm looking at the notes. You noted the date for plumbing in the middle of next week. That was November 26th of 24. And the rest is mostly finished going forward. Councilmember Cos asked if they tabled for 90 days, do you believe it's going to be done? You said you believe so. Then I said it'll push us into 2025 and there'd be different committee members. So here we are, 30 days. I believe it was 30 days in October. We visited in November, gave 90 days. So we're at 120 days of tabling. We've gotten nowhere. I appreciate that there are a few things that have been done. My concern, though, is we had discussed this and give you 120 days on top of when it was tabled at demo board, and we are not to the finish line. I would be comfortable moving forward with a 60-day make safe or demolish. I think that we have, in my opinion, given ample time to make the corrections and been promised that those corrections were going to be made within this. Sir, let me finish. Those promises were made when asked. reflective in the meeting notes. In fact, I asked them myself. And so I would have a hard time going back on, you know, essentially, you know, asking you, and I think, in fact, it might not be in there, but I think I asked you how much time, and you had stated the 90 days. So
They recommended at least 90 days. I recommended I be discharged. You guys went to 90 days. And again, when it wasn't in my favor, Raleigh and the department, their word was way up here. When it did switch to my favor, their word is down here.
yeah, you know, I appreciate all that, and I understand that this is difficult. I mean, no one likes to be in this situation, but, you know, we've given you 120 days, and it's like, you know, the plumbing permit, nothing. I can't in good faith support tabling this again.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I have a question for our office. Let's talk about that 60-day recommendation for tabling. It seems like at least our department feels that 60 days is ample time for the work that is left on this property. If we're trying to meet in the middle somewhere here, would 30 days be appropriate? Is that something that we can adjust?
Say it's not
Or
realistic with 30.
I guess that's my question. Is it realistic or I'm just asking if you think that could be
60 days. Yeah, it's realistic for him to get his plumbing permit and get those, but 30, the only reason I do say the 30 is because I know some of the contractors and with the time, it does need to get a permit sometimes, but I just think 60 is more realistic. But yes, it could be done in that time.
The fact that Raleigh did go out there on the property,
Do it.
that says something in his opinion. We're not going off old pictures or just notes. He actually put eyes on the property.
Him and the building inspector.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Corey.
And when was he last there? Does that in the notes here, is that reflected?
I don't have that.
Days before my last meeting.
I would say, yeah, it was.
Before, so back in November?
Yeah, Councilmember Hussein has a question.
Just because I want to understand these notes, right? So at the very top, it says progress inspection took place 10/17/24, which is obviously October.
That must have been when they were there.
Yeah.
Right, and then it says home cleaned out, work progress taking place. Initial safety hazards began to be addressed, work without permit noted, information shared how to correct. 6 to 9 months of work expected. Was that, do we know if that was like him and our folks saying, hey, we think this can be done? I mean, what?
I think so. I think that's,
Because that would put us out to, I mean, we're still within that time frame.
yeah.
We're looking at June or July. I mean,
Yes, that's
right,
then
exactly. Okay.
their discussion that within that time frame they think it could all be
And we
done
can,
by
it sounds like we concur. at that point.
See, it can be done. They're recommending table for 30 days or 60 days. And that's where I'm at. I would have loved for it to be done by the time I got to this meeting. It just didn't happen.
Do we have any motions on the table or any more discussion?
And it's, everybody has a vote here and I respect everybody's vote. Based on what I'm hearing, based on the notes, based on what seems to be a sincere effort, and again, I wasn't part of the committee last year. I'm going to move that we table for 60 days.
For 60 days?
Table for 60 days. Yep.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Pose.
Okay, passes 2-4. So tables for 60 days.
Thank
That's it.
And we are going to table item 6M, the 30 oldest meat properties. And the time.
Oh,
Is it?
5:34.
We are adjourned at 5:34.
So you're asking me when we were going to do that one again.
I got a lot of it.